Welcome to my show on Awake TV. It's season 1 and episode 5. I'm Ofkje from Netherlands and I'm a union therapist, a transformational teacher and a talent coach. And I will host this show every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 noon New York, 5 p.m. London and 6 p.m. Paris, Amsterdam, Copenhagen and Berlin. So join me every week on Wednesday. Would be nice to see you again. And the theme of my show is archetype and talents. And this archetype, you can open your treasure box and discover your archetypes. I'll show them in my show, how you can meet them and how you can meet your inner dream team. I will come to that in a few minutes. For every show, I invite a special guest. I want to hear this guest's life story, and I'm especially interested in the life shifts they made. What role did their archetypes play? And how do they use archetypes in daily life and in their work? Was there perhaps a hidden talent or that they rediscovered? These hidden talents are usually talents you had in your childhood, talents you would use to live your dream life and your mission. Only things works out differently. Yeah. But as Ellen Spell said in my first show, it's never too late. Every day is a new day and you can start again. I know how important your childhood is as the start of everything. I have been a teacher for many years, and as I didn't like the school system, I wrote 50 new school books that are now widely used. And I founded my own institute for children with learning disorders. For many years, we helped hundreds of children to get proper education, so for 3 decades. And these days, I also learn the importance of doing things in a playful way. And using my gesture, I made sure my pupils will laugh every now and then because life is a game. Let's play it together. Every show, I end with a special offer for you. You can buy a game box or a session of me with a special reduction. Or sometimes there will be a special offer from my guest. So watch this show till the end. Archetypes are a mirror of our soul. They are rooted in a collective subconscious. And they help you to connect with your soul, with your heart, and with your intuition. Everybody has archetypes, but most people don't know them. And that's a shame. So I invited everybody in these shows and every day to reconnect with your archetypes and your soul. It means you make decisions with your heart, in line with your mission, for a more fulfilling life. Your most important archetypes are in your inner dream box, your inner dream team. They will help you to open your treasure box. Maybe there's a dragon on it or a demon, but you can open it because you are so much more than you think you are. So let's play this game together. I talk about these aspects with my guest, Kate Limley from Texas, USA. Kate is a really great artist. She's a heartist and she has a wonderful heart. Therefore, she calls herself Kate, the Heartist. She's a painter and she's a designer and she shows how to organize things. I never met a person with so much creativity, enthusiasm, and passion. She knows how to work in a playful way. And she knows how to make children feel free to express themselves. She has this vision to create a digital utopia for children. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's all very interesting and amazing stuff. So I'm excited to welcome Kate to my show today. Hi, Kate.
Hi, it's so great to be with you here in Texas today.
We meet again and you're so far away. I'm in Netherlands and I'm so happy that you're here for the episode 1, the 5th show in my Awake TV network show. And Kate, you're so welcome. You look so colorful. I'm happy to have you here in the show. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Living boldly and stepping into my colorful, bright life is the path that I am on. The step to choosing to be in that space where I'm allowing my genius gifts to be seen and heard.
Yeah,
because I know how important it is.
I like
because
your
my
gifts.
genius.
Yeah, it's all about those archetypes and gifts. We connect. In 2019, we connected twice. We meet in Spain and we met in the south of France. Yeah, do you remember, Kate? We met for the first time.
Remarkably so. And this is what I was getting ready to share too. The piece that I'm holding is that I'm holding a community and a story and a construct of a place, a magical place that began in the imaginations of each of our genius. And I'm the aligner as the visionary artist. And the day that I saw you at ETTG on the stage, I felt in my heart that you were the educator in the classroom at Spring Garden Elementary School in the first grade. I saw you there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And you and I then connected in the garden at the Magic Tea Gardens.
Yes.
And I think we're both drinking tea right now, Ofkje. Yes, I'm drinking from my honey beehiving mug. And I think we met and we came together in the garden. We had a short interchange. That was an alchemical exchange between our genius. And we even left with that planting seed that you were intrigued by the funny bird Blaze that I was taking pictures of. And you said, who is he? And we had your game of burnout you had just created.
Yeah,
you were talking about how Blaze lives with his heart on fire and his passion. Right? So all of those things occurred. And then I have a funny story to share that happened later in the evening as it becomes organically available to share that. That was really phenomenal. Started to teach me more about the physical world and the spiritual world.
Yeah, can you tell me some more about yourself, Kate? Because you're really a special artist. You're not an artist, you're an artist. Can you tell me something about that? Because we want to know you, to learn you better.
Thank you. I love that you just made that distinction of the artist and the heartist.
Yes.
I would say, yes, I am an artist. I see that there is an artist that dwells in each one of us, and it's the art, capital A-R-T, the word that is embedded inside of the word H-E-A-R-T. And the more we can hear, the word ear is inside of our heart word as well. It's in the center. When you start to listen with your heart and your art and your heart is your ears, your feeler, all of it, you start to create your magical world as the genius that you each are. And I paint to activate the cellular level. I have sold art before for a long time. I've built businesses around art previously. I had triplets in 2005 that interrupted an emerging art business.
And then three together.
Three together that are now 15, and I love them so much. They're a huge part of the journey into utopia that teaches beings to step out of fear and sheeperation into love and unity. And we recognize that everything is energy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? And in our physical bodies, our emotions are the energy that is our point of attraction, that is moving us to our next now moment, which is our moment of creation, creating our reality through our thoughts, inspired actions, emotions, and beliefs. So all of this lining up, the container is utopia that brings in all the geniuses from around the planet. And I met the genius of you, the educator, that had all the tools inside of it that were embedded already. The games exist. You say life is a game, let's play it.
And I worked a lot with the children in the classroom, in my classroom in Netherlands. I was a teacher and I had an institute for learning disorders. So I saw 3 decades, a lot of children. And yeah, children are our future. They are so magically, they have so many ideas, they're so spontaneous, they're so colorful. So I love it, the child in you. Yeah.
That's the key right there, is the child in each of us. Thank you for seeing me as
That do we have
I'm very much an adult. I'm sorry.
Now, this do we have in common. We both like a child sometimes, the rebel, playing, playful. Yeah. Because look behind you, you made such a beautiful, beautiful, colorful paintings. And I see an owl and I see everything. Can you show something about yourself?
So this funny thing that you just referenced, the owl, that is a reference and a likeness to you, Mrs. Teakins,
Ooh,
in
tell me more.
Utopia.
Yeah.
So the day that we met, we left one another in the magical tea garden, and we were at the Merkaba fountain of water that came out. And I said in those parting words, maybe you're a character, because I had this intuitive feeling.
Yeah, and I didn't understand at all. So can you tell me, for the listeners and the watchers also, what is Utopia?
Yeah.
Can
so
you
all it's understanding Utopia in this 30-minute segment will not be able to do it justice. No, Utopia is many, many things. The reference point that I'm speaking about is that there will be an emergence that is currently in development as I'm in alignment with meeting the beings that are in my journals, that I've been in this place of development of being in touch with my heart and my imagination to call forward the thoughts that have become things. All of that is sitting behind me. This magical world is coming and playing through my imagination. However, there are elements that let me now know since 2018 that it's been encoded in other people's imaginations as well, whether they know to call it Utopia or not. They've already created the parts that were on their heart, and those are the tools that have intrinsic value to come in and invite humanity to rise up, self-love, self-actualize, to be your genius, so that we can work in harmony with one another to create a utopic life by choosing to see circumstances and experiences from a loving context versus a fearful context. Mm-hmm. So utopia is a state of mind and heart and feeling and way of being in the practical world right now. It's something I play with. I'll see you in utopia by choosing to see your circumstance from a loving perspective.
Yeah.
The way we frame it,
mm-hmm.
anything, our circumstance, is our reality. We are the creators of our reality with our thoughts and our beliefs and our inspired actions.
Sure, yeah.
So after the tea garden, I had a very profound experience that taught me something more about the imagination and in not only being in one person's imagination at the same time. And I was able to come into that realization because I was awakened suddenly at 3 o'clock in the morning in our hotel room in Spain by the sound of an owl in my bedroom. And it was so loud, I at first was startled as I sat up in bed and I could hear the owl. And I was like, oh my God, there's an owl in the room. And Cindy, my very dear friend that works inside of this utopic space with me, was with me and still sleeping next to me. And I didn't want to disturb her with what was going on in my imagination, I realized, because it was so loud and it wouldn't leave me alone. I was like, what do you want? Who are you? And I heard, it's me, Ofkje. I'm the owl. And I kind of went, oh my God, what? There is a teacher that is an owl inside of Utopia. She's like, yeah, I'm the owl. And all of a sudden you started talking to me in how this works. Who knows? Is it in my imagination? Am I in a dream? Yes, and yes, and yes, that's also the reality.
Yeah.
So it was talking so much to me, and I'm going to just speak that it was you, your higher self was telling me in my imagination that I have these dangly earrings and they have balls on the end of them. And I wear glasses and I'm Dutch, so I have Dutch wooden shoes. And I am a rainbow body and I have this pretty necklace and I have a magic chalk. And I saw all these different parts of you. And I went in because it was starting to get disturbing because you were trying to show me so much that I went into the bathroom and I was sitting in there and I was writing and I had a chalkboard behind it and I wrote roots, hoots, and wings that you were showing me. And I was getting so much information about that you've created content that can be used as games inside of this platform. I was like, fantastic. I come back out and Cindy says, are you okay? I said, yeah. I am. Oh no, I was in this imaginary state. She's quite used to me. She's lived with me through this process and been a part of its development for close to 5 years. So she's used to seeing my unusual behavior and understands what it is. And I came back in and I learned something about the imagination. I told her what had happened. I said, oh my gosh, Cindy, I just got woken up by this owl and it's this woman that I met today. It's like the higher self of her coming in and I thought it was in my dream and whatever, but then it became so real I had to get up and take notes. And I showed her my journal. I went over and I showed her the picture that I drew. That showed me very specifically what it was. And I dated that. It was 4/26. That was April 26th. It was the day after we had been together in there. And she said, "What did you say you heard?" And I said, "An owl." She goes, "Kate."
And you made a noise. You heard the noise from the owl, yeah?
She heard the owl too in the bedroom. And so, what is the imagination? I said, if she can hear it and I can hear it,
Everybody.
how is that possible?
Yeah.
Right? We were tapped in, tuned in. That was the beginning, right? So the very next morning, you'll recall, I walked up to you as you walked up to me actually at the table. And I was hesitant to just kind of upload you with this whole strange experience I'd had because we had only met for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in making people think I'm strange and weird. I'm interested in aligning all of the pieces of this puzzle as we behave ourselves in community to create the sweet life for us all. Like bees work in community. That's what's happening. We're all doing our part.
Then you give me this card in Spain. Yeah, you give me that card.
That's alchemy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I'd written that for you because I was planting the seed of utopia in you. So that was my intention. I was going to plant that seed with you. But you walked up to me and then you said, I said, "Do you have any affinity for owls by chance? Or do they mean anything to you?" And you looked at me and you said, "What did you say to me? Do you remember?"
Yeah, I have owls everywhere in my garden on a stick, and yeah.
And people call you the owl.
Yeah, I said yes. I'm a teacher. I'm a transformational teacher. So that
it was shocking. It was so.
Yeah, and then you talk about a bee, and then say I'm a beekeeper in the Netherlands. So this
you gotta love it.
This was fun.
You cannot make these things up. They happen. These are the signs so that we can recognize one another and pull the pieces together. And pieces are the PEACES in my universe. It's the thing that brings each of us peace and joy. We be. That's our beingness. That's our genius. We allow the other bees to work on the things that bring them peace. And it makes everything work. We're all peaceful bees. And put it all together, working in harmony.
Yeah. But
create our sweet life.
Can you show it, the classroom behind you? Let me see.
Can I show the what?
Yeah, the picture, it's wonderful. It has also a crown. Why is that?
Yes, of course. And you wear the crown and you wear that and you teach to put on your crown and be your queen. That was another piece. See, I didn't know that about you at all because you didn't present that when you were at ETTG, when we were there in the European people, the European teachers conference gathering.
I did that in south of France. Then we put up all our crowns and then we met the queen. And the queen is one of the archetypes you liked very much, this card of the card deck. And you were really ambassador for the archetypes because you use those cards every day with your family, isn't it?
We have begun to play with them in really profound ways. I started to recognize them as tools to help me focus on certain parts of me. So right when we were together in Spain, I wanted to purchase some of the cards from you and I began playing with them. You and I ended up doing an interesting thing. We exchanged our genius rather than money for the things that we wanted.
It's not about money. It's about...
But we are our currency. I made you a matchstick, right?
Yeah.
That is original art, that is my heart, that is the match of inspiration. It's a magic stick. It lights the spark that is inside of you and makes the fire burn bigger, wider. It's the divine spark that already exists and it honors that. But so we did an exchange. I began to play with them right away in France. And I was marveling at how it was helping me narrow in and see the different aspects of me. Because as a creator of a universe that is emerging through my imagination, one can imagine that it is difficult to stay focused on any one part potentially. But whether you're creating a universe or you're creating a beautiful life plan for your family or you're creating the next 20 minutes of your day, the same process exists. We must be able to go out and see a broader view,
Mm-hmm.
and then narrow in and bring more focus to what needs to happen in order for what we're wanting to create to emerge and be seen.
And when
That
we,
may be a
okay,
beautiful, happy day with
yeah,
your family, with preparing meals filled with love versus frustration and anger of, I don't have enough time to get everything done,
you
right?
saw the
So,
cook. You used this card also one day, and you made a beautiful soup, wasn't it?
oh,
Can you tell me about that?
well, it's so funny. It is so funny because I had not been cooking um, in some time of like doing soup, and because I live in Texas and it's really hot most of the time, and so I hadn't made soup in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So but I woke up with this intention of like, I feel like making tortilla soup today. I'm going to do that. That'll be great for dinner tonight. That'll be able to simmer all day. Perfect. And I hadn't drawn the cards early in the morning like I typically had been doing.
Yeah.
And I realized my error, not my error, there's no errors, it's divine delays, so that we can delight and align and play with the reality that we are attracting into our space, that which we
Yeah.
are being energetically.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew the cards and I couldn't believe it. I drew the cook card that had the pot of soup and it matched my black kettle of tortilla soup. It looked exactly like what was happening. And I sent you the message and I just said, oh my gosh, Ofkje, these cards are pure magic with
And you
us.
sent me a photo. Yeah, that was really nice. But so you see, in this utopia you are creating, there are people in the classroom and people watching really are interested, I think, what kind of people. There is a musician.
Musician, a wizard,
A wizard.
a fashion designer, an interior designer, a healer, an artist. There's so many, a scientist that sees the world through his heart.
Yeah, by Kate the Artist. And did you already design these pictures of these people?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're in journals at a minimum. So some of them are in journals, some of them are painted, some of them are already known to be the different parts that they are. The thing that happens in Utopia is a being that is a character inside of the story that is in Katie's real world in the storylines becomes a fictional animal character in most cases. We live on the fun energy farm in Utopia.
Wow. So what do you want with this utopia? People can understand. What do you want? What's your purpose with it?
The stage that I'm in right now with Utopia is still aligning all the parts that are connected to it so that we can tell the bigger story to humanity about the power of stepping into your genius and knowing who you are. That's why your cards are so important. They
yeah,
help
to
people
invite them.
identify.
Yeah. It's all about opening that treasure box so this genius can go out and people going to use the archetypes and do what they came for. So this is where you come from, isn't it? This utopia, this building, expanding this utopia, and so people can explore it.
So expanding is perfectly stated, because when someone asks me, what is utopia and what do you want from it? That's as long an answer as asking me how long is a thread.
Yeah.
It goes on forever. There's no end. You know, it's art that activates and triggers the cellular level. You know, I didn't go about this from a standpoint of an artist that was creating art to sell art in the beginning of what I was doing. In fact, I was very guided internally by my higher self that I wasn't going to be selling any of the original pieces, that they were going to be utilized to travel and go around the planet with me, speaking to the power of us each stepping into our genius, and that they are activators because the energy that I am embedding in them as they're being created through me and my consciousness is getting embedded into the art. See, this is why art is interesting. And when people start to understand art at the level that I'm now playing with it and being with it, music does the same thing. There's an alchemical reaction with the cellular level of our beingness.
What do you have with music? Can you tell me something about your musician archetype?
Me, I'm a listener. When we talk about music and a musician, I would say that my archetype with musician is I have a appreciation for music.
Yeah.
I love to listen to beautiful talent and genius. I'm did you see how I framed that? Did you see how I didn't make it a negative? I didn't say I'm not a singer. because that's really somebody else's genius. I'm clear on that by the way that I can hear my tone when it comes out. I haven't been trained in it at all, but I haven't been curious about it at all.
No.
It doesn't feel like that's something that I want to expand. I have a great appreciation when I look around. Like one of the images that's coming so closely too, because she's so big, is Mother Earth back there.
Yeah.
So Mother Earth is played by a beautiful, beautiful, well-accomplished singer. That's her part in telling the story about if you're aligning with the feeling of being a musician and a singer. There are plenty of musicians inside of this storyline to express and be with that, and there are many. But Mother Earth will be a beautiful, Dominique McCormick is her name, and she's a soprano that is sung with world-class.
Oh, you like that soprano?
houses.
I have a soprano's voice. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I can sing very high. Yeah.
Wow. And I didn't realize you're a singer. Good for you. I'm learning about you.
Yeah. But I discovered it when I was 50 years. I get for my anniversary lessons to sing, and it was really spontaneous. I was a soprano. Isn't that fun? But you're a real mother with your 3 children, huh? 15 years old now. Yes. But you're also the mother of Utopia. But the founder of Utopia, also an archetype. Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think of all of them as my little babies, because it's truly the trinity of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, the logic and the emotion and creativity. When I speak about masculine and feminine, I mean that left side of my brain that's so logical and able to think about an idea clearly with a lot of perspectives. And then my creativity that is so vast that reaches out into this universal consciousness field and pulls in all these whimsical ideas to then birth and create. And so the mother of creation, we each are. We take these ideas and we have to balance that left, right process. It's not one or the other. It's having a good balance with both. I would say that my background in business has been very helpful for me to stay as a grounded.
I see that. That's also the field marshal, the strategist. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. He's really nice, because then you see that you also worked in the business life. You know how to work a plan out, how you will do that. You have a really good, you're really on a mission.
I am, and do you know that my background has been in critical pathing? So isn't that funny? If something needs to happen before, this one has to happen 90 days out so that this can happen in 30 days, because this has parts that this needs. And so creating and being able to look out to the future to be able to bring it back in. Yeah. I'm working in a world right now that I can see the future beyond my lifetime. And I see myself living an extremely extended lifetime. It's funny to say this, but I'll say it out loud. I see and envision myself as a very healthy and independently walking and talking and creating still 150 plus year old being. I'm not limited to this idea that I'm going to be passing away at 80 or 90 or anything else that some of my society would like to tell me. I don't see it that way. In fact, I have so much to live for. Why would I even be spending 1 second in my now moments thinking about dying? Because I'm creating the reality that I want to live and feel like heaven on earth. I'm not rushing to get there. I'm already here. I'm creating it with those that I love right here. So let's stay and play. It's delightful.
Yeah, life is a game. Let's play it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really, really impressed by what you're making, what you're doing. And what I see, we have a lot in common. We have a wonderful Chester and a miracle worker.
Oh, I don't relate to that at all. I don't think anything about me is like a jester. I'm just kidding. I'm just jesting. I'm very witty, and that's one of my things that I love about myself.
Yeah.
And I look for in other people. I love a great wit.
But
right?
you know, the archetypes have a light side and a shadow side. Which archetype is in the shadow side for you? Which side you want to change? Which archetype can use in transformation, maybe?
Well, we're not all things, right? So a very creative person does not necessarily organize her spaces very well, because she's so creative, she's moving from one thought to another. And I'm thinking in the third person because it's more than just me. But for me personally, I recognize that I'm not the archetype of organizing a physical space from an accounting standpoint. I don't like to put everything real tidy. I like it to be, well, I'm funny, and then I'm saying I don't like it to be. I love it to feel organized and clear space. That's just not one of my archetypes and strengths.
Yeah,
because
you're
there's
not
so many of the other things that create all the other energy around what would be the polarity of that.
But you are on a mission, really. You do step by step by step, and you're coming very far.
I can organize my feelings. So when you say that I'm a field marshal, the way that I interpret that word is I am a FEELD marshal. I feel all. And so I follow my heart one step at a time. And that is the organization that I'm able to do. I've created a very good, and we can all do this. What I'm speaking about is this is a really important part of when you're creating anything in your life is self-awareness so that you can get into self-actualization and have a biofeedback system. For me, biofeedback is I'll get an intuitive feeling in my back of my neck if something is not for me. I get a strange feeling at the back of my, right here at the base of my spine, neck, my cranium. So if something is for me, I get chicken skin and things get tingly and that gets really warm and buzzy. Or I'll get an intuitive feeling that I can hear. And it's almost like a person. It's my person. It's me, my higher part of me, that God part of me, that I'm connected to God's source because I was made in his likeness, but she never left me. There's a part of spark inside of me, right? All right, that's my knowingness. That's my knowing system. So I follow that intuitive guidance to listen to that inner voice that tells me, look to my left. And then through a journey of being able to remember all these aspects of me, of signs, of symbols, numbers, words, language. I speak multiple languages. The ability to translate and cross-interpret ideas allows me a great communication experience, extrasensory perception, to be able to pull in more information to have a higher potential realized. When people speak about ESP as if it's a strange phenomena,
it's not.
It's not. We all have it. It's about clearing out the noise so that you can focus in on what is answering your intentional quest. Question. Each one is a quest that you're in discovery of the answer.
The
intuitively.
archetype quest. That's it. What's your favorite archetype, Kate? Is that the artist or the heartist?
To pick a favorite, I think would not be my choice. I say I honor them all and I love each one. What I'm loving about your game, I'm going to share this with you. What I love about your game is it makes me love myself more because it lets me expand my awareness around each one. Because when I draw the mother card, it makes me so much more focused to be that mother that's so focused on being in alignment with my children's needs versus meeting all the other extra, peripheral things that are going into this universe. Right now, there are a lot of beings that want and need some of my focus and attention. So we're sharing a piece of the pie. Thank God pie is infinite. I spell pie P-I, because if I try and limit it to like 12 or 16 slices in a PIE, that doesn't work when you're building infinity. No. So I play with words to create multidimensionality, to stretch time, space, reality, to meet the needs of all that we are. And we can all do that. I just have the awareness now that we can, and I take inspired action. But I did that awareness through other geniuses coming into my space and showing those things to me and playing with those with me. I have a beautiful community of like-hearted individuals that are expanding their awareness of we're much more than just a human being. We're a spiritual being having a human experience. And that was said to me more than 10 years ago. And when it was first said, and I heard it in my head, I was like, what are they talking about? I mean, yes, we're all spiritual beings, but what really does that differentiate from being human? It's all together. Yes, it's all together. But I didn't understand what I was just describing of the extrasensory perception the way that I do now. And I'm grateful that I do now, because the task at hand that's been placed on my heart
Yeah.
is quite large.
You know, I made 2 books with Mona Wimbrand and with my husband, Kees Paling, this life shift books. When
Beautiful.
did you make that life shift? Because you were artist, you had a company in painting t-shirts when you start, and now you have a wonderful company with this. When did you hear this calling, this that you were on the wrong path and you want to change?
It's never the wrong path for me. It's an evolving, shifting path that's always on purpose. So I've never said that I am not on the right path. I still maintain my corporate job. Can you imagine that I have been able to create? Oh, there's so much more.
Yeah.
There's so much more than what you see here. And I'm a mother, and I'm a friend, and I'm a partner, and I have so many different ways of being. We all do. It's just a matter of, expanding what you think you're capable of, and you will create what you are capable of and what you believe you are. So believe it first, and then be it.
But there is a moment
the be is at the beginning of the word believe.
Yeah.
Focus on the being. Be it.
Yeah, on the being. And when.
So what happened? You asked me the question. How did I shift? I'm going to condense this for a minute. There was one trick. I'm sorry. We're talking over each other. My apologies.
No problem. I'm so curious when you say. Let me change the words. It's not the wrong path, but when did you feel it has to change? I will make that shift. I will go out of corporate business. I want to work at home in my atelier. I want to work for myself and be the artist.
Yes. Okay. So it's organic. Back in 2010, I was in a business meeting inside of Supply Chain Solutions for a very difficult challenge. When a man said, and as he was listening to me with these very creative solutions that were not just common retorts to the challenge at hand, he said, "You are not a sheep. You are really different." And my funny brain heard the word spelled EWE, because I'm visual too. So I saw the word. Yeah. And you is a divine feminine sheep, spelled EWE. Phonetically, it sounds like you. And I thought, isn't that funny? So I think that our dream lives help build us up to all that we are and help us realize our potential. Because when you're living inside of a dream and creating a dream that's bigger than you, it makes life fun. And when you have more fun, things expand and join
quicker, much
faster. It amplifies. Yeah. So that was 2010, but I didn't see what I see now until 2014, because I started playing with the language of just writing it funny and talking to friends just to bring them into a different way of being in the day, because we were also stressed out as moms and working.
Yeah.
We started having fun with the language, and people added to the language. The language is not only mine. It was created through each of us being a part of those early conversations that are heart-versations, the heart helping us remember what we're saying.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So 2014, it shifted again, and I started painting. And I sat down one day and I said, this is a great way to share these stories with my, of what I'm teaching my children, who are now 4 and 5 years old. No, at 2014, they were 9 years old. I was like, this is a great place for me to start teaching the stories of be the driver of your life, the power of being your word. These lessons.
I like this. Yeah.
Right? So that it was being the mom, all the archetypes work together to help me see the picture expanding. So, but then I thought, well, isn't that funny? I don't have characters. What am I talking about? What storybook am I talking about? The next day, I got an email, the universe conspiring and playing with me, to take an online children's writing book course. And I did. I engaged. It was offering me something ridiculous, like a $1,200 course was $99. I thought, well, if this is a scam, it's $99. I have nothing to lose. It's funny that they came in the day after I said I'm going to use a storybook line. I'd never written before. I didn't think of myself as an archetype of a writer. I'm a powerful writer. Oh my gosh, this part has been drawn out of me through being in the dream, right? All of us are all part.
Yeah, and you're right.
It's about focusing and pulling it out.
Mm-hmm.
So as I did that, Ofkje, I was experiencing this online course, and it came to a prompt, and it said something like, it's important to know where your story takes place. And I was like, well, I don't know. I had a notebook in front of me, and I said, well, I don't know where this takes place. Where does this take place? And my hand began to write, and it wrote, Utopia is a place where puffy heart clouds float through the sky and the scent of honey fills the air. The heart-shaped trees and flowers dance to the rhythm of freedom. The only thing missing is you.
Wow. Boom.
I looked at the page and I went,
Okay.
where did that come from? Like, what was that? It was profound. And so then I sat there for a moment and I became very emotional. And I realized I was really tapping into something that was beyond anything I could understand. And I surrendered and I started to allow what happened. I I spoke to a girlfriend, Roxanne, and she said to me, it's automatic writing. And she started to teach me what automatic writing was. It's when you tap into the higher parts of yourself and your guides and your ancestors and your angels.
And you start journaling? You went drawing or writing? What did you do? Okay.
All of it. All of it. It all started to come through. The characters just started to show up. I started to hear that the 4 primary characters initially, well, there were 5. They started with the love yous, because everything begins with loving yourself and stepping out of fear and sheeparation. Yeah. So Eugene, the very happy organic farmer, Eunice, his partner in crime, but not crime, partner in creation. Yeah. See, I just catch myself. I fall back into those similar words that have been programming for me in my culture and society, but I'm getting very present to shift because I'm not wanting to create more crime. I'm wanting to create more creation.
May I ask you something, Kate? You made beautiful drawings. Did you write also a book or something? I don't know yet.
So the books were showing me that the books were coming, yes, and I began to write. But what was interesting to me about the process, Ofkje, is none of them would complete. They wouldn't finish themselves. They wouldn't allow me to finish them. Mm-hmm. And I started to get curious about that. And I didn't ever get worried. I just kept doing what I could hear, doing the next piece that was on my heart. Mm-hmm. And it had me continue to paint pictures, one picture at a time. Pictures worth 1,000 words. What was happening when I was painting alchemically with the pictures is stories started to unfold in me. And I started to feel them so much bigger, and I couldn't understand what was happening. Then I started to see so many characters, and I thought, how does this happen? What does this do? How do we make all this interconnect? Several years later, I started to meet with people that started to show up, and they embodied characters. Exactly. You embody the characters that are in my journals. So and I have thousands of journals. I've been on this path now for 5 years. 5 years of journaling, and some days I fill an entire 200-page spiral like the one that I have here. I started this one this morning. It's front and back, and I'm probably at page 100, and it's what time? It's early in the morning still where I live. So, you know, I fill journals with inspiration because everything is inspiring to me because it's all interconnected, and now I'm seeing how these pieces flow together. What I now know is that the books were never meant to come first. And so I was blocked from doing that, but not in a hurtful way. It wouldn't have been horrible if I'd done it. I'm just showing a higher way. I think for everybody, the message is really start to understand yourself and trust yourself. That's why, again, your game is so powerful. Your archetypes that pull out the segments and allow one to focus on a daily basis.
And invite them. That's also nice. You can invite them every day, another character. All those archetypes, they are subconscious, sub-personalities, and they're all in you. But you can meet them also. You can close your eyes and speak with them and hear what they want from you. And then you find your mission. May I ask you, Kate, what is your mission in this life? What are you coming to do in this world?
To step into my I am presence and ever expand it, being all that I am as the artist, the mom, the friend, the storyteller, the living with no limits, to help make an impact in the world that I am being and living in on a daily basis, to expand love and kindness. So that shows up. That's my mission. That shows up in everything that I'm doing. It involves me standing next to the woman that is sitting next to me in the line yesterday, and I admire her beautiful hot pink lipstick that makes her feel special.
Yeah.
It's something as simple as that. And it's also as big as understanding that I am holding a platform that allows each I am to step in and shine their light in a bigger way, adding their one whole thing into the new SUM thing, the sum total of all of its parts, the P capital ARTS. Why does my funny brain do all of that? That's
Yeah.
part of my mission.
Yeah.
All of this is my mission.
Yeah.
The way that I see and feel the world is my mission.
Yeah.
So that I can,
Thank you.
right? I love it. I love.
I
That's
think
my mission.
people have to get used to it, how you play with his numbers and his letters, but I love it. It took me like it is lacked also a few days to connect with it, but I really love it. And you are such a colorful woman with so much qualities and talents and gifts. And it was really a pleasure, Kate. Yeah, we have to finish the talk a bit. We talk.
That's amazing that so much time has passed. Time when we're in this state of being, it feels like play and it doesn't feel like work at all. And yet you and I are both expanding what others would call our work. This is our work. We've created lifestyles for ourselves to be that in which we enjoy. We are in
for sure.
our joy.
And for me, it's an honor to be your owl and teacher in your Utopia family and your school class. And we talk about this more in the future. And it was really an honor to talk with you and hear your ideas and your purpose and everything. So thank you very much for that. And do you want to say something to the listeners, maybe how they can reach you? And
thank you for that. Yes, I'm very much in the state of, as I shared, still pulling all of the pieces together.
Yeah,
there are many aspects of this. If you had something that tinged in your heart that really resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. I am K8 at theloveyous.com is my email.
Yeah.
And so I share that email with your audience because no one comes to this channel by accident. No. And we're pulling the pieces together. The website, www.theloveyous.com, is a great place to check into routinely, as it is absolutely continually evolving at this state. I'm moving into the next stage, and it's currently in construction and holding a space that's not fully realized, where it will be even 2 weeks from now. But that's how fluid the life that I am in right now is, as we move into these next highest versions of ourselves. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to connect, and for beings to be able to see me and this and contact me as they feel called. I'm also
a teacher.
I'm a teacher on Awake TV. Yeah. And I'm available on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, to tap in and tune in for 30 minutes with me to help expand the I Am presence. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity to join you here. I love you so much. I'm excited for all we're co-creating, and what a blessing. I see you. I love you.
Thank you, Kate. It was really wonderful, and to be continued. Yeah. On the way. Thank you.
Continued until we all find our freedom flame and own it. I love you.
Let's play.
Big hug.
Bye.
See you in Utopia.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Teaspoon. Thank you, Kate, for this wonderful conversation. And we show a lot of archetype cards, and we do a little rehearsal. Kate is the artist, and she is really a queen. She lives her life like she wants to do, and she is the founder. She made this fundament for Utopia. Can you see it? Yeah. And she's also a cook. She put things together, and that makes you a wonderful soup. She's an actor. She's a very colorful person. Hope you can see it. Yeah. And she's an artist. That's the other one. In a different way. An artist with words, with colors, with forms. Really nice. And she makes a lot of fun. My slogan is life is a game, let's play it. She works with that. And she made several stories for the characters she created for Utopia. And she's a mother of her 3 daughters. And she's a field marshal, a strategist. Like she said, she's a feelings marshal. So fun. She's playing with all those words. Yeah. I'll give you more information at the end of the show about Kate. And as you can see, it's very important to live your life a more creative and playful way. Especially children should have more opportunity to express themselves, to discover their talents and follow their heart. Because of the importance of this all, my offer for this week will be a reduction of the price for a private session with me. But this time it would be a session for one of your children. Does one of your children have a learning problem or some kind of other problem? I would be happy to listen to you. And I would love to help them. At the end of the show, you will tell me more about this. From Kate's story, you can learn how important it is to know your archetypes. She's the only person I know who plays my cards every day, with her children, with her husband, or with herself. It gives her some structure. And especially it can be interesting from your hidden talents from your childhood. By knowing your archetypes, you connect with your inner self and your mission in life. Your most important archetypes are your inner dream team, and they help you to open this treasure box. For you have so much power inside of you, and you know that. So you hold the key to this treasure box, so use it and open this treasure box. To connect with your archetypes, I made a special card deck in a beautiful treasure box. It's called Archetype Talents and Talents. It contains 74 archetypes cards with a light and a shadow side. So you can see the positive way or the negative way, but it's all that you can embrace them. It's all described in this manual. And in this manual, you can see all the description of those archetypes so you can play yourself every day. I also made some other games about special themes. It's about self-compassion. I have it here. And it's about burnouts and life shifts. It's all playful cards to play with. You can play it together or with a group or with yourself. So, and you can find them in the web shop on my website, ofkje.com. Next time I will have another special guest, and his name is William Glaudemans. William translated the Course of Miracles for the Netherlands, but he's the best known as a creator of the Game of Gifts. He was once my teacher when I started to know more of the archetypes, for which he educated more than 150 coaches, including me. Together we created Young Talent, a talent game for young people to discover their talents and their mission in life. William also writes a series of books about talents, mission in life, and several other subjects. But I will talk with him and interview him mostly about his special book for forgiveness. There are a lot of people outside now watching are suffering about a trauma or something, and he's the specialist about forgiveness. So I hope you will join me next Wednesday on Awake TV network, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon New York time, 5 p.m. London time, and 6 p.m. Paris, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, and Berlin. The special offer today for this week is a reduction of €100 on the price of an online private session of 2 hours with me. Instead of €350, it will be €250. But as I said, this time it will be a very special session. It's for one of your children. Does one of your children have a learning problem or some kind of other problem? I would love to help. So you can find the offer on my page at Awake TV Network. For more information, you can go to my website and contact me on www.ofkjetekens.com, OFKJETEEKENS.com. And for more information on my guest, Kate Lumley, you go to www.theloveviews.com com is TheLoveEes.com. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you next week again on Wednesday. Bye bye. Bye bye.